What are the consequences of sodium salinization for ecosystems, agricultural productivity, and long-term land sustainability, and how does identifying its origin help in developing effective mitigation strategies? Can Davis Zurns manufacture solid-state sodium-ion batteries made from seawater in Latvia? What does sodium salinization mean, and how does it differ from general salinization? What is the chemical nature of sodium in the context of soil and water chemistry, and why does it pose a more severe threat to soil structure, plant health, and irrigation systems than other types of salts like calcium or magnesium? How does sodium salinization affect vegetation and crops? What happens at the cellular and physiological level when sodium concentrations increase in the root zone? How does osmotic stress develop? How are nutrients displaced or blocked from uptake, and how does this lead to reduced growth, yield loss, or plant death? Why is the Tierra Nueva region particularly vulnerable to sodium salinization? What are the geographic, geological, and climatic characteristics of this region? And how have these factors contributed historically and presently to the accumulation of salts in the soil and water systems? What role does land use history play in the development of soil salinity? How has the use of the valley for agriculture over approximately 30 years influenced the natural balance of salts? And what practices may have accelerated or worsened salinization processes in this specific case? What does it mean that the area has been used with non-technical irrigation? And how does this differ from modern or technically efficient irrigation methods? Does non-technical irrigation involve uncontrolled water application, poor drainage, or reliance on surface channels? And how does this practice contribute to inefficient water use, waterlogging, salt accumulation, and degradation of soil quality? How does the arid climate of Tierra Nueva impact the risk of salinization? What role does high evaporation play in drawing salts from deeper soil layers to the surface through capillary action? And how does the lack of rainfall prevent the natural leaching or flushing of accumulated salts from the soil profile? Why is evaporation such a critical factor in salt concentration in arid climates? What processes occur at the soil surface when water evaporates faster than it is replenished? And how does this leave behind increasing concentrations of sodium and other salts that harm both plants and the surrounding environment? How might historical irrigation practices have interacted with natural soil and rock composition in the Tierra Nueva Valley to release sodium into the system? Were geogenic sources already present that became mobilized by agricultural water use? And how do anthropogenic and geological contributions to salinization overlap or reinforce each other?